everyone, it's Jasmine, and in today's video we are going to be discussing different tips that can help us get a better rest. So I hope you learned something today, and let's get started. Sleep is a fundamental part of human health, allowing the body and mind to recover after daily activities. During sleep, the brain processes information, repairs cells, and restores energy. Healthy sleep improves concentration, emotional balance, and overall well-being, making it essential for a productive and balanced lifestyle. Now, how much sleep do you need? Sleep needs can vary depending on your age, activity level, health, and lifestyle, but most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. There are certain signs that you can look out for that may indicate that you're not getting enough sleep, and these signs include, of course, feeling tired or irritable during the day, having difficulty concentrating, relying heavily on caffeine to keep you awake, sleeping much longer on weekends, and then feeling like you could fall asleep during quiet activities where you're relaxing. Your body does have an internal clock that works best with consistency, which is why creating a consistent sleep schedule is essential. To support your internal clock, we can try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day. Keep your weekend schedule relatively similar as well. Give yourself enough time to wind down before bed so you're ready to actually fall asleep at the same time. And then avoid regularly staying up very late and then trying to quote unquote catch up on sleep. When we create this consistency, we are essentially teaching our bodies that each evening there are these set hours where our bodies can slow down and then focus on those functions that we talked about at the beginning of today's video. Now, consistency is all fine and dandy, but how do we actually build a relaxing bedtime routine to make sure that we're not following these practices and then getting into bed and still not being able to fall asleep? So once we give our chance to transition from being busy to relaxing and rest, we can allow our bodies an easier time to ease into rest. In order to do that, we can try to create a 30 to 60 minute wind down routine. You may want a longer routine if you find that your days are very high stress, very busy, you're running around a lot, and it might take longer for your body to calm down and slow down. These routines may include taking a warm shower or bath before bed, possibly reading a book, doing some gentle stretching, listening to calming music, journaling, or writing down tomorrow's to-do list. Sometimes if we're laying there stressing out about what we have to get done tomorrow, it can keep us up. So just getting this down on a piece of paper can kind of take it out of your mind, put it somewhere physical, and then it's there for you to focus on when you actually wake up in the morning. Another practice is deep breathing or mindfulness that can help us relax into sleep. Now, you don't have to do all of these or any of these activities. If you have other activities that feel calming for you, make sure you're picking those. We just want to make sure that we're not being very stimulated right before trying to relax into sleep. Other things we can do is aim to make our bedroom a little more sleep friendly. What this means is creating an environment that's cool. A slightly cooler temperature can promote comfortable sleep. A dark room, so using blackout curtains if necessary, or even an eye mask. Making sure that it's quiet, you're not having a bunch of noise around you that's keeping you up and keeping your brain alert. If you are in a noisy environment, you can consider using earplugs. Of course, making sure you're comfortable and not sleeping on a mattress that does not support your back or your muscles, making sure your pillow is right for you and your bedding is as well. And then creating a clutter-free environment. Now, this may, for some of us, feel unnecessary, but actually having a clean and clutter-free space has been shown to reduce stress in adults and can allow us to ease into rest much easier. A very important topic for our day and age is making sure that we are being mindful of screens before bed. So this includes TVs, phones, tablets, computers, etc., as these can all make it harder to transition into sleep, especially when the content that we're watching or listening to on them is stimulating. What we want to try to do is to put our phone away 30 to 60 minutes before bed, turning off unnecessary notifications. So if your phone is away, you're not being alerted to it by its bells going off or ringtones going off. We are kind of just ignoring its presence. You can also, if you're worried about an alarm, use a traditional alarm clock. And then you can choose a book or a podcast or calming music instead of social media if you do need these things to help you relax into rest. Some other things that we want to be mindful of are watching our caffeine, alcohol, and late night eating intake. What we consume during the day can affect our sleep at night. So caffeine can stay in your system for hours. So with that into consideration, we want to make sure we are limiting caffeinated beverages later in the day. This can include, of course, coffee, teas, energy drinks, so on. Alcohol can also sometimes make people feel sleepy initially, but it significantly interferes with the quality of sleep that you are getting and causes more nighttime waking. Food as well is something to be mindful of, so large meals close to bedtime can interfere with our sleep. The reason being is because our bodies are in active digestion, and this can cause sometimes discomfort, bloating, or heartburn while your body is trying to rest. And it also is increasing our blood sugar levels right before bed, which can interfere with the quality of our sleep. You may be picking up that sleep quality and sleep duration is not just decided on in the evening, and actually what happens during our days can significantly influence how we sleep at night. With this in mind, we want to make sure we are moving our bodies during the day. Regular physical activity can support better sleep and help regulate your body's internal clock. So with this in mind, we of course want to try to get some movement every day. Spending time outside in nature during daylight can help our circadian rhythms. We can exercise at a time that works well for you. With that in mind, we do want to avoid intense exercise immediately before bed, as this is very stimulating for our bodies and can take longer for us to rest back into a relaxing state. And if you are finding this step to be a bit intimidating, what we can do is just even start with a daily walk, maybe some chair yoga. Anything that adds some movement and circulation to our bodies can contribute to better sleep. Now, what if you can't fall asleep even after practicing all of the things mentioned in today's video? If you can't fall asleep, don't force yourself to sleep, because if you've been awake a while, it may mean that your body needs something else from you. What you can do is you can try to get out of bed and do something quiet and dim lighting, whether it's reading or listening to something relaxing. I would avoid checking the clock repeatedly, because this can actually increase our stress and cortisol and have the opposite effect and keep us more awake and alert. Once you start doing these different practices, return to your bed when you start to feel sleepy. And really try to not turn your bed into a place for worrying, scrolling, working, or watching TV, as this changes the environment of our bedroom and can cause difficulty in the future as well for us to fall into rest. Better sleep doesn't require a complete lifestyle overhaul. Start with one or two small changes, such as keeping a consistent sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, limiting caffeine, putting your phone away before bed, or making your bedroom more comfortable. These small, consistent habits can make a big difference in helping your body and mind get the rest that they need. Thanks for watching.